You're ashamed of me? Is that it?
I am ashamed.
During the year, starting from 2015, Wattpad stories that were turned into movies became really popular. 50 Shades of Grey started the whole wave, and after seeing how successful it was, more fanfic movies came out like the After trilogy.
Hey, Holden, good to see you. How you been? Fucking Trevor!
The Kissing Booth trilogy.
Car, Al. Please get in the car, Al. Get in the car, Al!
Through My Window trilogy, and so on. And they all received the bad but also decent reviews. The Ideal Few is another fanfic film that was recently released and it has a lot of mixed reviews. So what is this movie about? The movie opens up with Solène, an owner of a small art gallery in Silver Lake, and guess how old she is? 40. Keep that in mind. She has a daughter Izzy who is a high school junior, and she also has an ex-husband Daniel who cheated on her.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Daniel bought Izzy and her friends VIP access passes for Coachella so they can go and have a meet and greet with August Moon, a boy band. And the name doesn't sound like a group name, it sounds like a person's name, to be honest. August Moon was a group that she was obsessed with back in 7th grade, but now I think she isn't a big fan like she used to. And if you're wondering what the fan base is called, the fan base is called Moonheads.
This your first time?
Sorry?
Getting mooned.
I beg your pardon?
What? Once a moonhead, always a moonhead.
Pause.
Her dad was supposed to bring her and her friends to the festival, but after finding out that he has a business trip that he has to go to, he bails at them instantly, and Solène has to abandon her plans for a solo camper trip to take Izzy and her friends to the concert. This is where Solène met one of the members of August Moon, Hayes Campbell, who has been really famous since he auditioned to be part of the boy band when he was 14 years old, which is really young. And if you're wondering how they met, Solène somehow mistakes Hayes' trailer for the toilets.
Hi.
Hi.
After their first encounter, Hayes is drawn by Solène's beauty and on how she doesn't really recognize him, which made him like her. This isn't the last time they saw each other during the day. They saw each other again during the fan meeting while Solène was waiting for Izzy and her friends. And all I can say is that they instantly fell for each other. After that, August Moon finally did their performance, and they kind of remind me of One Direction. While they were performing, Mr. Campbell mentioned,
A slight change of plan. I met someone tonight. I feel a little inspired. I'm planning on doing that.
and Solène thought that he was talking about her, and she was fascinated. A couple of days later, he somehow tracks her down at her art gallery and decided to buy everything in it while they were flirting. And while he was doing this, outside, a bunch of his fans and press were taking pictures and waiting for him. Hayes asked Solène to drive him to Solène's friend's warehouse, and Solène talked about herself a little bit, like what she majored in school. And then they both ended up in Solène's house because Solène offered to make lunch for him. And while they were having lunch together, they both shared some stories about their trust issues. And this is where they finally did their thing. And I forgot to mention that Hayes is 24 years old in the movie, and in the book he's 20. So do what you want with that information. Before Hayes left Solène's house, he purposely left his watch on the table without Solène knowing, and I'm surprised that she wasn't aware. A couple of seconds later, Izzy randomly appeared and questions her mom's behaviour. When Solène looked at herself in the mirror, she found Hayes' watch on the table. Once Solène dropped Lizzie off at camp, she was messaged by Hayes and she responded. Later that day, Solène decided to watch the music video of one of the songs that August Moon performed at the festival. Because why not? And after that, the next day, she straight away booked a flight and travelled all the way to France to see him. If that isn't true love, I don't know what is. Even the security guard looked confused. And after meeting, they were all over each other for days. Hayes invited her to go on tour with him and she happily goes, but she kind of felt embarrassed because of the age difference. Solène goes to all of August Moon's performances, supporting Hayes in the sideline. There's one part of the song where he walks directly to her and sings. When all of this is happening, I'm surprised that no one noticed because realistically, I know one of the fans will see this and take a picture or video and directly post it online. During the tour, both Hayes and Solène were enjoying their time together, but while they were all lovey-dovey with each other, someone was taking pictures of them. We cut to them in a fancy villa with August Moons and their girlfriends or friends. Solène wanted to wear something revealing but changed her mind after seeing the girls and decided to wear something else. The next part was really hard to watch, like I kind of skipped this part because it was too awkward.
I know, now that you're with Solène, you're like a middle-aged man. You know, before you showed up, he behaved like an actual...
He dedicated a song to me.
Closer?
Yes.
Of course, that was the one.
The conversation ended with Solène walking away, then Hayes later followed. The Solène questioned if this whole thing was a mistake and decided to pack her bags. And it ended up with them having a deep conversation, which ended up with Hayes asking this question.
I mean, does anyone in your life even know about me? Does your daughter? Do your friends? You're ashamed of me. Is that it?
I am ashamed.
After a century, Solène finally returned his watch and went back home, and her life went pretty back to normal, until she woke up and got a message from Hayes telling her not to go on the internet. And did she do that? Nope. Her curiosity got to her and she found out that the press got photos of her and Mr. Campbell, and her reaction was... Later, Solène picks her daughter from camp, and while doing so, everyone in the campsite saw the photos and started praising her, but also saying negative things about her as well. At first, her daughter doesn't support her mum and Hayes' relationship. Then later on, she had to change her heart as long as her mum is happy and he's a feminist.
Is he a feminist? Because that's important here.
After knowing that Izzy supports their relationship, she ran back to Hayes and rekindled their relationship, and then they became official and everyone's happy, except Daniel. They both ended up in an argument, both of them saying valid points, and Daniel left, and Izzy also left, feeling embarrassed. After realizing that her daughter is being harassed by her classmate, she broke things off again with Hayes, and then they saw each other for the last time. 5 years later, Izzy moved out for school and Solène is doing well for herself. While finding something to watch, she found Hayes with facial hair on a talk show in London, and he says this.
There's someone I would like to see there.
And the film ends with Hayes and Solène reuniting with one another, and the movie ends. And this is The Idea of You.
I don't wanna see you swell no more. And you might be the death of